Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a truth so simple, yet so powerful that it shapes every great success story you've ever heard. Look, I need you to understand something most people will never tell you. Talent means nothing without hard work. I don't care how smart you are, how athletic you are, how good you are at speaking, singing, coding, fighting, drawing, whatever. If you're not willing to put in the grind behind that gift, you're just another person with potential that's going nowhere. People love to talk about natural talent. He's a genius. She's gifted. You hear that nonsense all the time. And sure, talent is real. Some people are born with sharper reflexes, better memory, a natural sense for rhythm, or more physical strength. But let me ask you this. What are you going to do with that talent? Because if you think talent gives you a pass, you're already losing. I've met people with insane potential, guys who could destroy everyone in the gym the first time they sparred, girls who could sing like angels without ever taking a lesson, kids who picked up a skill in days that took others years. But here's what happens almost every time. They get comfortable. They rely on what they were born with. And because it came easy at first, they think it'll always be easy. They don't develop work ethic. They don't build consistency. And eventually someone less talented, but more committed, passes them. Every time. Hard work is the great equalizer. You can be born average, and through pure obsession and discipline, outgrow everyone who was born with an advantage. That's the truth. Talent might give you a head start, but hard work decides who finishes the race. And here's what separates the winners from the rest. They don't care about how talented they are. They care about how hard they're willing to work. They know that when it comes down to it on the field, on the stage, in business, in the gym, what wins isn't flashy skill, it's the hours, the repetition, the grind no one sees. While others are showing off, they're showing up. While others are bragging, they're building. You ever hear someone say, "If I really tried, I could have made it"? That's the classic line of wasted potential. That's someone who had talent, but didn't have the fire to match it. They never went all in, and now they sit on the sidelines, bitter, making excuses, telling themselves stories about what could have been. Don't be that person. Don't let your talent rot because you were too lazy, too distracted, or too scared to put in the work. If you're truly gifted at something, that's not a reason to take it easy. It's a reason to double down. You have an advantage. Most people don't. Use it. Push it. See how far you can go. Talent should be fuel, not a finish line. And let's get something straight. Hard work doesn't mean just staying busy. It means being focused. It means doing the hard things even when you don't feel like it. It means grinding when you're tired, when you're bored, when nobody is clapping for you. It means practicing the basics until they're bulletproof. Talent gives you a spark, but discipline, that's the fire. That's what lasts. Think about it this way. Imagine you're in a race and someone gets a 10-second head start because of their natural ability, but you train harder. You run longer. You don't take breaks. Every day, you shave off a second, then another, then another. Eventually you catch them, and then you pass them. That's how it works in life too. Talent without hustle is a temporary lead, but effort, that's permanent progress. And here's the truth most people avoid. Hard work exposes those who are just pretending. It separates the committed from the comfortable, because when things get tough, when you're sore, tired, broke, alone, that's when the pretenders quit. But the ones who know how to work, they keep going. They outlast everyone. That's where winners are made. Not in easy times, but in the moments most people fold. I see it all the time. People talk about what they deserve. They think they should succeed because they're talented, because they're passionate, because they want it. But let me tell you something. Nobody owes you anything for being talented. The world doesn't pay you for your potential. It pays you for your performance. And performance is built through effort, through consistency, through hard work that most people will never see or understand. That's why I respect the grinders more than the naturals. Because grinding is a choice. Being born with a gift isn't. You don't control your genetics, but you do control your work ethic. That's your responsibility. And if you waste it, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. You've got to decide who you want to be. The one who flashes early and fades, or the one who outworks everyone and finishes strong. Do you want to be remembered for what you could have been, or for what you became? That decision happens every day, in your habits, your discipline, your action. So stop relying on what you were born with and start building what no one can take from you, a work ethic that never quits. Because talent might get you in the door, but it's hard work that keeps you in the room. That's the difference between potential and power. People always talk about wanting to win. They say they want money, freedom, power, respect, but most people can't even win against themselves. They can't wake up on time without hitting snooze 5 times. They can't follow a schedule for a week straight. They fold the second they feel a little uncomfortable. You think the world's going to reward you for that? You think you'll build anything that lasts? If you can't even master your own impulses, no chance. This is why hard work matters beyond just success. It builds discipline. It forces you to face your weakness. It calls you out. And if you're smart, you'll answer that call. Because the truth is, success isn't just about what you do. It's about who you become in the process. The hours you put in, day after day, when nobody's watching, they do something to you. They sharpen you. They strip away the laziness, the excuses, the distractions. Every time you force yourself to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing, you get tougher. And not just physically, mentally, emotionally. You build character that can't be. Most people want strength, but they don't want struggle. They want confidence, but they don't want to face fear. They want respect, but they don't want to earn it. Hard work gives you all of that, but not on a silver platter. It gives it to you through pain, through repetition, through sacrifice. And that's exactly why it works. Because it's not for everyone. You want to know why most people stay mediocre. It's because they avoid anything that feels difficult. The second something gets uncomfortable, they quit, they back off, they compromise. But discomfort is exactly where the growth is. If you can't handle being uncomfortable, you'll never be capable of anything extraordinary. You'll always stay where it's safe, where it's easy, where you're in control. But nothing worth having lives there. It's the guy who shows up to the gym when it's cold and he didn't sleep enough. He builds discipline. It's the entrepreneur who works late nights when everyone else is out partying. He builds character. It's the student who keeps studying when their friends are scrolling mindlessly through social media. They build focus. And that kind of strength, that stays with you for life. It leaks into every area, your relationships, your mindset, your confidence. It rewires how you operate. See, most people live like slaves to their emotions. They do what feels good in the moment. They chase comfort, dopamine, distraction, and then they wonder why their life doesn't move. But when you work hard every day, regardless of how you feel, you stop being a slave. You take back control. You start moving with intention, not impulse. That's discipline. That's power. Hard work isn't just about what it produces outside of you. It's about what it forges inside you. It makes you dangerous in the best way, because now you're not easily shaken. You don't fold under pressure. You don't need motivation. You've built habits. You've built standards. And people notice that. They can sense when someone has that internal fire. That's why true discipline demands respect. It can't be bought. It can't be taught in a classroom. It's earned, alone, in silence, one choice at a time. And character. That's not about how you act when things are easy. Anyone can be nice, focused, or driven when life is going their way. Real character shows up when things fall apart, when the money's low, when the stress is high, when everything seems to be working against you. That's when most people break. But the ones who've been forged by hard work, they don't. They stay grounded. They stay sharp. Because they've been through worse. They've trained for it. You see, hard work is a mirror. It shows you who you really are. If you're lazy, you'll see it. If you're soft, you'll feel it. And the best part, you don't have to stay that way. Every rep, every late night, every tough choice, it chips away at the old you and builds someone new, someone solid, someone relentless. That's what this is really about. I don't care what field you're in, business, sports, academics, life, it's all the same game. And the winner, they're not just talented, they're trained. Trained to work through pain, trained to keep going when it's hard, trained to operate without applause. That training isn't glamorous, it's not flashy, but it builds a kind of strength that lasts. So stop asking for easier days. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop looking for motivation. Just work every single day, especially when you don't feel like it, because that's when it counts the most. That's when you're actually building something worthwhile. The body you want, the money you want, the life you want. It's all on the other side of discipline. And discipline only comes from doing the hard thing again and again, until it becomes who you are. You think winners are lucky? No,
They're just too disciplined to quit. They've trained their minds to push when others pull back. They've built character that doesn't crack under pressure, and they did it through one thing: hard work. That's the kind of person you need to be.
Let me be brutally honest with you. There are no shortcuts to greatness. None. I know people don't want to hear that. I know most of the world is addicted to quick wins, fast results, and cheap dopamine. But if you're chasing something meaningful, real success, real power, real freedom, you're not going to find it in a shortcut. You're going to find it in the long road, the hard road, the one almost nobody is willing to walk. People waste their lives looking for the easy way. They scroll through videos that promise overnight results. Get rich quick. 6-pack in 7 days. Master a skill in a weekend. It's all garbage. Do you know who gets rich from those things? The people selling you the shortcut, not the people buying it. Because if success was that easy, everyone would have it. But they don't. And that alone should tell you something. You cannot cheat the process. You can't fake experience. You can't download wisdom. If you're building something great, whether it's a business, a body, a skill set, or a legacy, it's going to take years. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take more than you think you have. And that's what makes it worth it. That's why greatness is rare, because it demands more than most are willing to give. Look around. The reason mediocrity is everywhere is because it's easy. Anyone can settle. Anyone can do just enough. Anyone can copy the crowd and blend in. But greatness, that takes loneliness. That takes obsession. You don't get to skip the hard parts. That pain is the price of entry. And if you're not willing to pay it, that's fine. Just stop pretending you want it. Everyone wants the reward, but nobody wants the responsibility. Everyone wants to flex the lifestyle, but they don't want the late nights, the stress, the losses that come before the wins. But those early stages, that's where you're tested. That's where you're forged. When nobody believes in you, when everything is uncertain, when there's no applause, no recognition, that's where you build your grit. That's where your mindset becomes bulletproof. That's where shortcuts don't exist, and only the disciplined survive. The people who chase shortcuts end up trapped. Trapped in fake confidence. Trapped in dependency. Trapped in cycles of starting and quitting. Starting and quitting. They never build momentum because they're too busy looking for the next easy fix. And then one day they wake up with regret, knowing they never really gave life everything they had. But the ones who take the long road, they learn how to suffer on purpose. They learn how to delay gratification. They learn how to outlast the noise. While everyone else is looking for the exit, they're doubling down on the work. And over time, that effort compounds. They get sharper, stronger, smarter. And when the results finally come, they own them because they were earned. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Shortcuts actually rob you of confidence. Think about it. When you take a shortcut, deep down, you know you didn't really earn it. That doubt stays with you. You feel it every time you're tested. But when you've truly worked for something, when you've suffered for it, you walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself with conviction because you've got receipts. That confidence is unshakable because you built it brick by brick, failure by failure. I've never met a truly successful person who said, "Yeah, I got here by skipping all the hard stuff." Never. You hear the opposite. They talk about the years nobody noticed them, the months they almost quit, the sacrifices no one clapped for. That's what made them who they are. That's what gave them the edge. And if you're smart, you'll stop running from that and start running toward it. You've got to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Because if you only love the reward, you're not going to last. The reward comes way later. Most of this journey is silent, thankless, and invisible. You don't get a trophy for every rep. You don't get paid for every effort. But every one of those moments stacks up. They add weight to your foundation. And one day when the breakthrough happens, people will say you're lucky. Let them. You'll know the truth. The truth is, success doesn't come from hacks. It comes from habits, not from tricks, but from tenacity. The people who win are the ones who stop negotiating with themselves. They don't need a perfect plan. They don't need endless motivation. They just show up every single day and they do the work, especially when it sucks. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're not supposed to feel amazing every day. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to struggle. That's how growth works. If it were easy, you'd stay the same. The pain forces evolution. And if you're really about this life, about becoming the strongest version of yourself, you stop trying to escape that pain and start respecting it. The longer road may be harder, but it's honest. It makes you sharp. It makes you dangerous. It teaches you lessons shortcuts never could. It builds real strength, real experience, real value. And that value follows you everywhere you go, in business, in relationships, in every challenge you'll ever face. No one can take it from you because it wasn't handed to you.
You earned it. So stop waiting for a magic moment. Stop trying to skip the line. There is no back door to greatness. There's only one way in through the discipline, through the grind, through the struggle. The road is long, but if you commit to it, it will change everything. That's how greatness is built. There are two kinds of people in this world, winners and losers. That's it. And the difference between them, it's not genetics. It's not luck. It's not some magical opportunity that one got and the other didn't. The difference is work. The difference is sacrifice. The difference is who was willing to bleed for what they wanted and who wasn't. You look around and you'll hear excuses everywhere. He got lucky. She had connections. They were born into it. All of that is noise. The losers say that to make themselves feel better about quitting. They tell themselves those stories so they can sleep at night, knowing deep down they didn't put in the work. Because it's easier to blame than to take responsibility. But winners, they know the truth. They know success isn't given. It's earned. Every single inch, every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice no one saw. That's what separates them. This world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your background. It doesn't care how bad you want something. It rewards one thing: action. The world pays the people who show up, who deliver, who dominate consistently. You want to be a winner? Then stop talking and start grinding. Because while you're complaining about how unfair life is, someone else is outworking you. Someone else is pushing through the same pain, the same setbacks, the same problems, and refusing to fold. You've got to understand this. Talent might get you attention, but hard work keeps you in the game. Everyone starts with dreams. Everyone wants the lifestyle. But when it gets real, when the pressure hits, when the motivation fades, when the grind feels endless, most people tap out. They disappear, and they convince themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be. That's the language of a loser. Winners don't think like that. Winners don't ask if it's meant to be. They make it happen regardless of what it takes. There's a reason why only a small percentage of people ever reach the top. It's not because they're the smartest. It's not because they were chosen. It's because they did the work nobody else wanted to do. When it was dark, they kept going. When it was uncomfortable, they leaned in. When others took shortcuts, they stayed on the grind. That's the price. And the ones who are willing to pay it are the ones who win. You can't fake work ethic. You can't pretend to grind. Because eventually life will test you. You'll get hit. You'll lose money. You'll fail in front of people. You'll doubt yourself. And in those moments only the truth remains. If you've put in the reps, if you've embraced the struggle, if you've earned your stripes, then you'll keep standing. You'll adjust, adapt, keep moving. But if you've been lying to yourself, if you've been half-stepping, making excuses, waiting for perfect timing, then you'll crumble. Every time. And that's what makes hard work the ultimate separator. It doesn't lie. It exposes. It puts you on a path where the lazy can't follow. You don't have to say you're a winner. People will feel it. They'll see it in how you move, how you speak, how you carry yourself. That energy, it comes from the work, from the pain, from knowing that no matter what, you won't be outworked. Everyone wants to be the lion, until it's time to do what lions do. Wake up early, train when you're tired, study when you're bored, push when it's easier to quit. That's the jungle. That's the battleground. And only the real ones survive. You can lie on social media. You can fake a life, but you can't fake results. You either built it, or you didn't. People are obsessed with trying to look successful. They spend more time curating an image than developing themselves. But winners don't care how it looks. They care how it is. They don't need to convince anyone. Their actions speak for them. Their results speak for them. Their presence speaks for them. That kind of power doesn't come from pretending. It comes from showing up and doing the hard work when no one's watching. It's a war out here, and the battlefield is discipline. The weapons are consistency, effort, sacrifice. The enemy is comfort, distraction, excuses. You want to win? Then prepare to suffer. Prepare to be misunderstood. Prepare to be alone. Because most people will never understand your drive. They won't relate to your hunger. And that's okay, because you're not like them. You don't want average. You don't want good enough. You want greatness, and greatness demands everything. If you ever feel like giving up, just remember this. Every second you're resting, your competition is gaining. Every time you slack, someone else is grinding. Every time you choose comfort, someone else chooses discipline. And those choices, they compound, they add up. And eventually, you either become the person everyone envies, or the one who envies everyone else. It's that simple. So stop comparing, stop whining, stop overthinking. Put your head down and work. Build yourself into someone so relentless, so undeniable, that the world has no choice but to pay attention. Not because you shouted the loudest, but because your work echoed through everything you did. You either work, or you work. There's no in between.
People always ask, how do I become confident? How do I believe in myself? And the answer is simple. You earn it. You don't find confidence in a book. You don't get it from someone hyping you up. You don't manifest it. Real confidence doesn't come from fake positivity. It comes from proof. And that proof only comes from hard work. You earn confidence through grind, through pain, through doing what most people avoid. Every time you show up and you don't feel like it, every time you choose effort over ease, every time you push one more rep, stay one more hour, sacrifice one more comfort, you're building something inside that no one can give you and no one can take away. You're building self-respect. And that's where confidence comes from. Not from talking, but from doing. People think confidence is about being loud, being flashy, being the center of attention. It's not. Confidence is quiet. It's calm. It's internal. It's the voice inside you that says, I can handle this because you've handled worse. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's certainty. It's knowing that you've been through the fire and come out sharper, that you've paid the price, that you've earned your place. The people walking around with fake bravado, the ones who talk a big game but fold when it gets tough, they're not confident. They're performing. They're covering up the fact that they haven't done the work. But you can't hide from the truth. Not forever. Sooner or later, life puts you in a situation that strips away all the noise. And in that moment, if you've built nothing, you'll collapse. But if you've done the work, you'll stand tall. That's why I say confidence is a side effect of consistency. You become confident because you keep promises to yourself. You said you'd train. You trained. You said you'd stay disciplined. You did. You said you'd outwork everyone around you, and you did. Now when you walk into a room, you don't need to prove anything. It's already in your energy. You don't need to puff your chest. You've got receipts. That's real power. This is why so many people are walking around insecure, anxious, and unsure. They don't trust themselves because they keep betraying themselves. They say they're going to start something and they say they're going to change, and they don't. They give themselves an out every time it gets hard, and then they wonder why their self-worth is in the dirt. It's because they haven't earned it. You can't lie to yourself forever. Eventually, you start seeing yourself for who you really are. Someone who quits. That's the truth. Most people are too soft to face. But the beautiful thing is this. Confidence can be built. You're not born with it. You're not gifted. You build it the same way you build a muscle. Through repetition, through effort, through sacrifice. Every time you do something hard, something uncomfortable, something that tests you, you grow. You strengthen that belief in yourself. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But the transformation is real. People think you need to confident to start. Wrong. You start without confidence. You start with fear, with doubt, with uncertainty. But you start anyway. And you let the work transform you. You let the process mold you. You show up enough times, you start to notice something. You're not breaking anymore. You're not scared anymore. You're not faking it anymore. You are it. You've become what you were pretending to be. And that's when you know it's real. Most people never get there because they never push past the discomfort. The second they feel unsure, they retreat. The second it gets hard, they convince themselves they're not ready. But here's the truth. You don't need to be ready. You need to be willing. Willing to suffer. Willing to look stupid. Willing to fail in front of everyone. Willing to pay your dues. That willingness, that's rare, but it's the foundation of real confidence. Confidence built from hard work is different. It's not situational. It's not dependent on who's watching. It doesn't vanish when things go wrong because it's not built on outcome. It's built on effort. You become the type of person who's not afraid of failure, not afraid of rejection, not afraid of the unknown because you've faced it all before. That's what gives you the edge. That's what makes people respect you before you even speak. They can feel the difference. They can see it in how you move. This is the part no one wants to accept. Confidence is earned in isolation, when no one's clapping, when no one's checking in, when you're doing reps in the dark, when you're sacrificing sleep, skipping parties, shutting out distractions. It's boring. It's lonely. But it's real. You either embrace that, or you stay soft. There's no middle ground. You can't Instagram confidence. You can't tweet it. You can't fake the process. You have to bleed for it. You have to sweat for it. And when you do, you'll find something deeper than hype. You'll find yourself. Not the version you pretend to be, the one you actually are. That version is built, not born. You want to walk into every room like you own it. You want to look in the mirror and respect the person staring back. Then go earn it. Go do the work when no one's watching. Go suffer when it's easier to stay comfortable. Go finish what you start. That's where confidence lives. Earned confidence is untouchable. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success comes with a single breakthrough, a moment where everything clicks and you suddenly make it. The truth is, that moment is overrated. The real transformation, the real success, doesn't happen in one dramatic instant. It happens in the small, consistent decisions you make every day. It's the choice to keep going when everything around you screams to quit. It's the ability to stay disciplined, to maintain focus,
and to keep your eyes on the long-term goal, even when the path gets rough. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success. The stories that sell are the ones that involve a single stroke of luck or an unexpected break. But what's often hidden in those stories is the years of hard work that came before. Those overnight successes were the result of thousands of unseen hours, thousands of failures, and a relentless pursuit of a dream. What people don't see is the grind behind the glory. What they don't see is the real work. Most people get frustrated because they don't see instant results. They get discouraged when they don't see immediate rewards. And that's the trap. Success, true success, isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. It's about the long haul. It's about showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. It's about putting in the work when no one's watching, when no one's cheering you on, when everyone else is out partying or taking shortcuts. It's about getting up, doing the work, and doing it again and again, until one day, you look back and realize that all those small steps have added up to something massive. But here's where most people fail. They give up too soon. They expect to see results faster than they're willing to work for them. They look around and see others achieving what they want, and it gets in their heads. They start thinking, why not me? Why am I not getting those results? And that frustration leads to quitting. But what they don't see is the unseen effort that goes into those results. They don't see the sacrifices, the time, the dedication, the countless days of doubt and struggle that led to success. If you quit too soon, you're never going to see that. You're never going to experience the satisfaction that comes from truly earning your success. The key to long-term success is understanding that the work you put in today, the decisions you make today, all lead to something bigger. Even when you don't see immediate progress, even when it feels like you're stuck, every ounce of effort you put in counts. Success isn't just about the end result. It's about the journey. It's about the person you become while you're working, the discipline you build, the character you forge, the resilience you develop. That's what sets you up for long-term success. People look for motivation to keep going, but the truth is, motivation fades. It's temporary. It's a feeling. And like any feeling, it comes and goes. But what's permanent? Discipline. Discipline is the key to sustaining success. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't. You don't need motivation when you have discipline. You don't need to feel like it when you know you have to do it. Discipline is the foundation that allows you to keep moving forward, no matter how you feel. And when you build that discipline, it becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. There will be days when it feels like nothing is happening, when you feel like you're spinning your wheel, and that's when most people quit. But the real ones keep going. They understand that consistency is the key to success. They understand that the work they're putting in today is a deposit in their future. It might not pay off tomorrow. It might not even pay off next week. But one day, those consistent actions will compound, and the results will show up. You can't expect to build a business, build a body, build a life of success without showing up every day. You can't take shortcuts, and you can't expect overnight results. The grind is real, and the work is hard, but the reward is worth it. It's the satisfaction of knowing that you didn't quit, that you pushed through when it would have been easy to walk away, that you kept going when everyone else was looking for an excuse to stop, that you kept showing up day after day when the results weren't immediate. And that's how you separate yourself from the crowd. That's how you become the person who stands out, the person who makes it, the person who achieves the impossible. It's not the person who has the most talent or the best connections. It's the person who refuses to give up, the person who keeps going when everyone else gives in, the person who stays disciplined, stays focused, and does the work when no one else will. Don't expect instant results. Don't expect everything to come easy. It's not supposed to. The work is what makes the results meaningful. The grind is what makes the victory worthwhile. So stay focused, keep pushing, understand that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward your goal. You can't rush greatness. It takes time. It takes sacrifice. It takes patience, but it's worth it. And when you reach that point, when you've put in the work, when you've stayed the course, when you've earned your success, there is no greater feeling. You'll know that you didn't take the easy way out. You'll know that you earned everything you've achieved. And that's a feeling no shortcut can ever give you.